What if the British royal family is hiding a secret so explosive, it could change the very line of succession? For years, speculation has hovered over Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's children. But now, that speculation has turned into serious questions backed by verifiable documents, missing records, and a birth certificate that simply doesn't make sense. At the heart of this deepening mystery is their daughter, Lilibet Diana. She was introduced to the world as a royal Californian baby, born amid joy and headlines. But new evidence suggests something very different, and far more disturbing, may have taken place. According to Prince Harry and Meghan, Lilibet Diana was born on June 4, 2021 at Santa Barbara Cottage Hospital in California. The announcement was met with worldwide celebration. The baby was named in honor of Queen Elizabeth's childhood nickname and Princess Diana's legacy. Soon after, a photograph of little Lilibet smiling alongside her family made headlines around the globe. It all seemed picture perfect. News outlets even circulated what appeared to be her official birth certificate, listing the baby's name, date, and place of birth. On paper, it seemed legitimate, comforting even. But then, eagle-eyed researchers noticed small, critical details that didn't add up. Legal inconsistencies, missing records, and one specific number on that certificate raised a chilling question. Was any of this real? At first glance, Lilibet's birth certificate seemed official, just another page of standard hospital paperwork. But embedded within it was a tiny numerical code that quietly unraveled the entire narrative. Every U.S. birth certificate carries a location code that identifies the state where the child was born. For California, that code is always 104. But on Lilibet's certificate, the number printed was 105, a code that, according to state documents, belongs not to California, but to Colorado. That's not a minor typo. That's like buying a plane ticket labeled for Paris, only to find the barcode scans for Peru. It doesn't line up, and it shouldn't have happened, especially for a birth being publicized around the world. And here's the kicker. Nearly 3 years later, that error has never been publicly corrected. As questions started forming around the birth certificate, attention turned to another puzzling detail: the doctor. The medical professional listed as having delivered Lilibet, Dr. Melissa Drake, was, by all accounts, a respected OB-GYN. But just days after the media announcement of the royal birth, Dr. Drake abruptly shut down her private medical practice. In a notice to her patients, she cited personal needs and a desire to focus on her health and family. Maybe that's all it was. But for those analyzing the inconsistencies in the birth records, it was another red flag, especially when they learned her husband runs a prominent fertility clinic in the same region. That set off a wave of whispers. Was this truly a natural birth? Or could it have involved a surrogate or even an adoption, shielded behind royal secrecy? Suddenly, what looked like a joyous birth started to feel more like a controlled narrative, with one key figure quietly disappearing from the scene. If the birth certificate mystery wasn't strange enough, what came next pulled the rug out from under the entire story. An investigator filed a formal request with California's Department of Public Health, asking for verification of Lilibet Diana Mountbatten Windsor's birth on June 4, 2021. The request was official, the fee was paid, and all necessary details were submitted. The reply? No record found. Instead of a birth certificate, California issued what's known as a Certificate of No Public Record, a document they only send when there is no matching birth officially registered. Think about that. While newspapers and media outlets have circulated images of what appeared to be a California birth certificate, the state itself says there's no such record on file. How is that possible? In the digital age, that's not a misprint, it's a gap. And when it comes to a royal child whose status in the monarchy depends on lawful legitimacy, a gap like that isn't just an oversight, it's a problem. This isn't just about rumors. In the British monarchy, succession follows a strict legal framework, and the rules are non-negotiable. For any royal child to be officially in line for the throne, four basic conditions must be met. First, the parents must be legally married, which Harry and Meghan clearly are. Second, that marriage must be recognized by the Church of England. Check again. Third, The child must be conceived naturally, meaning no surrogate, no egg donor, and certainly no adoption. And fourth, and most crucially, the child must be delivered from the body of the legal mother, with full medical documentation, signatures, and verification. That means doctors, hospitals, certificates, official, public, and provable. If even one of those criteria isn't met or can't be shown clearly, that child doesn't legally qualify for the line of succession. It's that simple. And with Lilibet, none of that verification has ever been produced. Here's another detail most people probably missed, but it's legally significant. On the circulated birth certificate, Prince Harry isn't listed as a private individual. Instead, he's named using his full royal style, His Royal Highness the Duke of Sussex. Sounds official, right? Well, not in California. Under state law, titles of nobility are not allowed on legal documents. Birth certificates can only list a person's legal name, not royal styling or ceremonial titles. No, Duke. No, Your Highness. Nothing. So if that birth certificate includes His Royal Highness, it violates state law. And that gives us two theory paths. Either the document was doctored, or it's not legally valid in the first place. Either way, one more official detail simply doesn't add up. At this point, the search for answers turned from online speculation to formal government channels. The investigator behind this case didn't post theories, they took action. After receiving the "no record found" response from California, they picked up the phone and spoke directly with the state's Vital Records office. On that 25-minute call, a staff member confirmed that California's location code is always 104, not 105. The discrepancy on Lilibet's certificate? Real. And officially acknowledged. Next, the investigator turned to the UK, filing a Freedom of Information request with Parliament to verify the birth of Harry and Meghan's first child, Archie, at Portland Hospital. But Parliament responded that it's not a medical institution and therefore can't confirm any birth records, then promptly redirected the question to Buckingham Palace. There's just one problem. The palace isn't subject to Freedom of Information laws. That's where the trail hit a stone wall. So on one side, you have California state officials saying no record found. On the other, UK officials saying not our job. And right in between? Two royal children whose status in the line of succession hinges entirely on documents no one seems able or willing to verify. By this point, the inconsistencies weren't isolated, they were building into a pattern. And that pattern led researchers to one inescapable conclusion: something about Lilibet's birth isn't what we were told. So if the official account doesn't check out, what's the explanation? There are three main theories. Theory 1. Clerical error. Maybe someone at the state office simply entered the wrong location code. Maybe the 105 meant nothing. But if that were true, why hasn't it ever been corrected, especially for the child of two of the most high-profile people on the planet? Theory 2. Surrogacy or adoption. If Lilibet wasn't born naturally from Meghan, whether due to fertility struggles or a private decision, it would explain the secrecy, the missing records, and the vanishing doctor. But under British law, a surrogate or adopted child cannot be in the line of royal succession. And Theory 3. A deliberate cover-up. That the royal family, and possibly the press, knew the documents wouldn't hold up under scrutiny, so smaller distractions were fed to the public to keep the deeper questions buried. A title violation here, a sweet family photo there, all designed to make the public feel like everything was normal, while beneath the surface, it wasn't. And here's the part no one wants to say out loud. If either of the last two theories is true, then neither Lilibet nor Archie is legally eligible to be in the line of succession. Yet as of now, they're listed. Officially. Publicly. Without question. Now, here's the thing. This isn't just rumor mill excitement or royal gossip for the internet to chew on. This is about the foundation of the British monarchy itself. You see, the rules of royal succession aren't ceremonial. They're legal. And they're exact. The monarchy has 4 critical requirements for a child to be legally placed in line for the throne. The parents must be married. The marriage must be recognized by the Church of England. The child must be conceived naturally, and the birth must be biological. traceable, and medically verified. Simple on paper, but absolute in practice. For generations, the royal family has gone out of its way to make birth records visible, displaying doctors' signatures outside Buckingham Palace, confirming deliveries publicly, easing doubts before they can ever form. But with Harry and Meghan's children, that tradition vanished. No easel, no doctors, no signatures. Just a PR announcement and a document riddled with red flags. And if even one of those 4 legal conditions hasn't been met or can't be proven the right to the crown, gone. Quietly. Instantly. Completely. So where does that leave us? A birth certificate with the wrong state code. A hospital that refuses to verify the birth. A doctor who vanished from practice just days later. A royal father listed with a title that violates California law. And most damning of all, a state registry that says no record exists. In any other situation, a single inconsistency might be dismissed. But together, these aren't cracks, they are fractures in the story we were told. And when the future of the monarchy is based entirely on legitimacy, those fractures matter. Because let's be clear, this isn't about celebrity gossip anymore. This is about whether the official line of royal succession is even valid. Parliament won't confirm. The palace won't respond. And government offices on both sides of the Atlantic either say they have no record or simply refer the question elsewhere. And here lies the most uncomfortable truth. Either the records don't exist or the people in power don't want them seen. And if that's the case, the question isn't just what are they hiding? It's why haven't we demanded answers? In the eyes of the law, titles, thrones, and legacies cannot rest on blurred lines and missing paperwork. And until every detail is transparent, verified, documented, and lawful, the royal futures of Archie and Lilibet remain in the shadows. And shadows, when ignored, don't disappear, they grow.